Hi, welcome to my channel, Inks and Tomes. I'm Nat, and today I will be doing a review for one of my favorite books of all time and the perfect late autumn book. Let's get into it. As many of you who have been watching my videos have probably guessed, and or know, I am a huge fan of Maggie Stiefvater. She writes magical realism YA books, and I have had a soft spot for them in my heart ever since the Shiver trilogy came out in 2009, and I picked up a book, the first book of the trilogy, in a little English bookshop in the center of Kiev, which tided me over when I didn't have access to any English-speaking books. I am forever grateful for that, and I am actually really excited to reread that trilogy this winter because it's a very winter-ish book. But after that trilogy came out, one of my all-time favorite books, which is the Scorpio races. So this is my copy. I have the UK cover. I will put what the US cover looks like here, maybe. This is still that very same copy that I bought all those years ago. I actually bought it just as I moved to the Netherlands, and I saw that she had released this. Yeah, I am in love with this book, and if you want something which is very cozy, very autumnal, very intimate in many ways, very character-driven and atmospheric, I would highly recommend this book. To quantify just how much I love this book, I'm going to be releasing 3 videos on this channel dealing with the Scorpio races. So the first one is this one, which you can watch here. The second and third one will come out later this week, or I'll be putting cards in case you're watching this at any other point in time during the year, which will be making the November cakes that are mentioned in this book. And the third one, a review of the Scorpio races tarot deck, which I also got. So as you can tell, I really, really love this book. So why is that? Welcome to the Isle of Thisbe. Thisbe is an island somewhere in the seas of Ireland and Scotland. It is obviously fictional, but you could probably assume that it was based on the Isle of Skye or one of the other Hebrides. And every year on this island there are the Scorpio races. Races which involve killer water horses. Now Maggie drew the inspiration for these horses on actual mythology. The one that I'm most familiar with are the Scottish Kelpies, so essentially killer water horses that come out and drag you down, bloodthirsty, very aggressive animals, but they are one of the key aspects of this novel. Then we come to our 2 protagonists, Puck and Sean. Puck is a girl who enters the Scorpio races for the first time in her life because she is trying to prevent her brother Gabe from leaving to the mainland, and Sean, who has raced in the Scorpio races for many a year on his red water stallion core for reasons of his own. And that is essentially it. I think that is actually the beauty of this book. This is essentially a book that follows 2 people and how their lives eventually collide with the beautiful backdrop of a very rustic and mythical island that really puts you in that atmosphere. If you've ever been to Scotland, or if you haven't, then please watch some travel videos. It is an amazing place that holds this very particular atmosphere and aura to it, which this book translates perfectly. So that is essentially the non-spoilery review of this book. If you do want to read it, which I highly recommend, please pause this video here and leave it until you get your hands on this book, and then come back when you're done. I know this is not how YouTube works, which is, you know, stay on my video until the end. No, just go read it, enjoy it, and when you do and you want to hear about my views on the book, then please feel free to listen to me go on. I will be going into some plot points of the book. I'm going to try and make it non-spoilery for the main events, but I do want to discuss the things that I didn't like about this book, even though the didn't like is very small because I'm extremely biased and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm gonna put this down now because my hand is actually aching. Kudos to everybody who is able to do that with, you know, doing that for all their booktube videos, but I can't, so we're gonna put this down and I'm just gonna continue. That kind of works. I'm happy. The thing that I most enjoyed about this book, and I've seen some reviews which don't like it, is the fact that this book is slow. For the content that this book has and the events that occur, it is much slower than what you're used to for the genre. But I personally think that it adds to the atmosphere of the overall book. That mysticism, that November grit, that wildness that November brings, especially next to the sea, this book translates perfectly. I also think that the pacing really helps us understand the journey that both Sean and Puck take. And the fact of the matter is, they're very, very different. They are two sides of a whole. So by having this slightly slowed down pacing, you're able to really understand the motivations and what drives both Sean and Puck to enter these races and what they're trying to get at the end, because that's quite interesting to me. You have two characters with very different goals, and fundamentally they both need to win the Scorpio races to fulfill their desires. And that's the catch, right? Races can only have one winner, so who's going to lose? And when they do lose, how much are they going to lose for it? And yet, saying that, you would think that the entire book would be very focused on the races, on the training, on the horses, but it's not. It's focused on the characters around that. It's focused on the stories of the characters, and the races are utilized in order to present the characters in the best and worst light throughout. Another thing that appeals to me is I like the two protagonists equally, and that is very rare for me. I usually have a favorite and then a secondary cast of characters, and then the characters that I don't like. Here, even the villains or the antagonists, I enjoy their interactions and their characterization deeply because I think it's very nuanced. I think it's also very interesting that the antagonist for Sean, which is Malvern and his well, the fact that he owns the yard that Sean works at, you always think that he would display some sort of distaste or be cruel towards Sean, but we keep getting these scenes where Malvern is actually a very hard man, but has his own set of morals that in the end Sean uses against him. I also think that the secondary cast is very diverse, and they bring a certain undertone to both Sean and Puck. For example, Puck's brother Finn, as a character, he's very eccentric. He brings out the parental side of her, the protector, the driver, the motivation. At the beginning, you could say it was Gabe for who Puck entered the races. It was for Gabe, her older brother, to keep their family together, but in the end, you could say that it was for Finn that she did that in order for Finn to have some sort of family, and for herself. So her actions are both driven by selfishness and selflessness. When they have to get hay for Dove, her horse, she asks Finn if they can sell their car, a car which Finn treats as his pet. Again, a selfish decision for an ultimately selfless purpose. And for Puck, that is the duality of her decisions. For Sean, on the other hand, Core, his red killer water horse stallion, is the love of his life, and he will do anything for this horse. So many of the decisions that he makes are selfless in the sense of they are for Core, but constantly he grapples with, are they because he wants to do what is best for him or what is best for himself, for Sean himself? So that is what I would have to say. The beauty of this book is the nuancedness. It's, if you enjoy character-driven stories, if you enjoy duality of people and how they play off each other, if you enjoy nuance in the interaction of secondary characters and the motivations between them, and you can see them in such scenes as when Gabe and Puck finally talk about Gabe leaving, and Puck understands a fundamental truth about why her brother wants to do this in the first place, or when Sean talks to Malvern in the hotel when they finally seal that final deal. This is what the book thrives on. Little things, on the slow pacing that builds up to a final culmination where you understand that there fundamentally can be no winner. And lastly, for me personally, there's one more fundamental secondary character, and it is Thisbe, the Isle itself. It is Skarmoth. It is the Scorpio race festival. It is the setting. I think why I love this book so much is the fact that you can picture everything flawlessly. I enjoyed the description of the Scorpio festival so much because it was magical. So you could feel cold wind on your face, you could feel the heat and fire from all these bodies crammed onto the streets, you could taste the November cakes. Honestly, just, I think it's a perfect amount of description mixed with the perfect amount of character interaction and characterization. I think that's why this book speaks to me so much. I love description, which I think this book did really well, and I love characterization and character interaction, which I think this book did also very well. So that was my spoiler-esque review of the Scorpio races. I would love to hear your opinion of the book and what you think about it. If you've read it, if you haven't read it, what did you think about it? And that is it for today. As I said, my next video will hopefully be me making some November cakes, and after that the Scorpio Races tarot card review, and how I've never considered tarot cards to be anything and why I bought them now, besides the fact that, you know, they're Scorpio Races themed. I hope you're staying safe and warm and cozy. November is upon us. It's a bit difficult to comprehend the passage of time this year. I certainly am struggling, so don't worry if that's how you've been feeling as well. If you are in the need of a chat or something, come join the Discord. I know I keep saying that at the end of every video, but we've had some really nice hangouts and write-in sessions, etc. on the Discord, so if you want to, it's a great place to come hang out with us, and I love meeting every single one of you. It's great. So yeah, stay warm and cozy, read some good books, drink some good tea, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.